Hello, Internet. It's been a very long time, but this is your friend, Mr. V8, here with the illustrious Gourmande. And we just came from a place in somewhere in southeastern Wisconsin called Comdey Sportz, where we saw a show called the Hackmasters. It was run by two of our very good friends and people who've been on the channel, the Venison Man, Mr. Corin Peterson, and Andy. What's Andy's last name?
Netzel.
But you know that person better as Stuffed Crust on this channel. They've done Pokemon. They started doing that. They were playing Pokemon with Gourmande. So,
Yep. And then 2020 happened, and it kind of interrupted things.
fair enough. That's a very good explanation of that. But those are longtime friends, 20 plus years of friendship. So we went to go see their first live show in front of actual people.
Yep.
And they filled a room. They did. They did a very good job, and they filled a room. What the purpose of this video is here is they kind of got our creative juices flowing a little bit, so we wanted to do something we've done before. Give them an honest review. So honestly, to give a review, this was an improv show, to give you guys a little background. So think of like Whose Line Is It Anyway, or various things like that, or Wildin' Out on MTV, with Nick Cannon and those guys. Something along the lines of that vein. So for those who don't know, the venue Comdey Sportz, they have like competition improv where two teams go at it. But this was on their smaller theater, and they were having like a more directed show. So it wasn't just our two friends though. And Lord forgive me to forget their names, but they were also accompanied by 4 actual improv professionals. The 4 people they were with are, I would put it to say, competition level improv players, like complete professionals. And to be honest, the 4 professionals carried most of the show.
Yeah.
Which, to give further context, our two friends, because Comdey Sportz also offers improvisational classes, and these 2 individuals have been taking said classes for, I want to say, years at this point, plural.
Yeah, it's been years. Although Andy did go to clown college.
Yes, I believe our friend Andy is a clown, like legit registered. I don't know if they'd gone so far as to paint their clown makeup on the little egg for the posterity at the clown vault or something like that. I don't know if they've gone that far, but our friend Andy Netzel he's a clown, and I don't mean that in like the joking way. Legit professional. He also does Santa Claus professionally on the holidays. And we all know each other from Dungeons and Dragons. A version of that very similar game is called Hackmasters. That's where the show gets its name, the Hackmasters.
Yep.
This was their show. They directed the show. Our friend Coram was a little bit more of an MC and a director,
Which leans into his strengths. So they were both playing up to their strengths for this show.
Yes. Not only are they dungeon masters and have done dungeon mastering for varieties of random people at a thing called Gen Con, if you're familiar. So what they did was but the point to say is they've directed whole gaming sessions of 4 hours or longer for random sets of people of which they'd never met previously.
Yeah.
Over a long period, over a weekend, of which they did possibly in that weekend 40 hours plus of game directing or refereeing, if you will, if you're not familiar with what a dungeon master does. And I would say our friend Andy, he's world class at that. It even played into the show. This man could dungeon master with a paper bag and a sock, and he would get 10 hours of gaming out of it in one session if so he chose. Our friend Coram has also dungeon mastered many games, but not to the level of Andy. But he's also does bar trivia. So he's very good at speaking, public speaking.
As a host, as an MC.
As an MC, as a host. And by MC, I mean Master of Ceremonies. To further that, not like a hip-hop act, I mean in the traditional sense. So they're very versed in public speaking. I think the show was very good in terms of. Now, at the end, we'll give it a number rating from 1 to 5. At least I'll try, because that's what we've done before in the past for these reviews.
Yep.
But all of that disclaimer is to say we're going to actually give this a fair, try to be as unbiased as possible. Talk about the strengths, the weaknesses, and everything we liked and could have wanted more of in the show. Constructive criticism, if you will. Hopefully they see this video. The whole thing started off where they themselves got on stage and kind of, Andy and Corum, that is. Not enough pronouns, pal. Yeah, we have to use more names. Not he, they, them. We have to say who these were. Andy and Corum got on stage, and they kind of gave us a rough overview of the evening's proceedings. And they did their jig, and they kind of explained who they were and what the Hackmasters was about. And then they went kind of right into it, into a almost whose line is it anyway style, like, can I get a name of a thing, and a place, and a vocation, and a person? Exactly what you expect out of an improv show.
Yep.
And I've even shouted a few things out. A lot of our closest friends from our oldest Dungeons and Dragons group were there, actually. And we had to support them for our first show. It was mandatory. No, like, seriously.
No, it was. But, like, it wasn't like Andy and Corum held a gun to our heads.
But if we didn't go, we would have never been able to live it down. We would have been bad friends not to go. Like, honestly. Yeah. This meant the world to these guys, and we had to go out of our way. We made the trip. So, to further what I'm saying, though, is once they started their performance, we got a lot of the professionals, the 4 professionals, and God bless it, I can't remember their names. But these people were like, one of them was on a sitcom, like I said, professional level, competition level role, improvisational players, and they carried a big majority of the show. They did a lot of what I would call the heavy lifting. And our friend Corum was a very good, like, director, or if you would watch the show Whose Line Is It Anyways, he played the Drew Carey role. Like, where he did, like, and the points don't matter, and the thing, and there's no winner type of deal. He was Drew Carey here.
Yep.
And he did a fantastic job at that, because it plays to his strengths. Like the Gourmand was saying, it plays to his strengths. And as the show went on, the biggest highlight, I think, for myself and Gourmand, I'll let Gourmand speak more to this, was our friend Andy had a solo, like, midway through, where Andy got up and almost had an impromptu, again, D&D session with the audience, where Corum would go around and literally hold a microphone to one of the audience members, and he would go through a scenario. You're in a forest, in the woods, walking through, and you see a man with a long beard, and so on, and what do you do? And then the audience member would have their participation moment, and somehow he would kill them, and then a giant red light would go on, and go, and you're dead! That was, to me, the highlight of the whole thing, because for me, I got to see someone I have a lot of respect for perform with kind of, in other words, to say, flying without a net. And they did fantastic. And it played to all of their strengths.
Yep. Plus, he did a lot of good leading with that.
He being Andy.
Yes,
Sorry.
Andy did a lot of good leading with that. What I mean is that for that type of improv scene, you need some amount of randomness from the audience, but you need some amount of predictability. And so you offer leading scenarios. You offer defined choices, not vague choices.
Yes. So in a typical D&D session, a good or well-versed dungeon master won't expect too much of their players in terms of giving them so much rope that they'll hang themselves. They give them, like Gourmand was saying, a lot of almost like lead choices, like Gourmand was saying, so that they can have, so that you never get off what we like to call the plot train, or the train of thought, if you will, where they're kind of led almost by the nose, but everybody has a good time at the end. So that's kind of the best way to do it, Because in truth, a lot of people who play D&D are groping. They're grasping at straws until like the DM basically gives them direction. So it's kind of almost like a play, if you will, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
Where the dungeon master, whilst they're telling the story, is the narrator, the arbiter of the rules, and the director of said story, all at once. And Andy did a fantastic job at that. And on top of that, even did the Masterpiece Theater classic, good evening, Vincent Price almost, if you will, voice, and it was classic. And as a person who's played in Andy's D&D type sessions, it brought me back completely. Like, our group, because we were kind of huddled in the corner, not for any particular reason, it was just the simplest for us. We were quite comfortable. We all felt it. It was Andy doing Andy's thing in terms of Dungeons and Dragons, and I was personally very happy to see Andy take that show on the road, get to apply Andy's wares to a wider audience. I don't know, how did you feel about that section?
Yeah, no, that was... Sorry. Yeah, no, that was really good. I think it was a unique experience.
Yes, and again, I'll ask you, Gourmande, do we agree that was the highlight of the show?
Yeah, that was definitely the highlight.
That was the highest point.
Because so they had very good improv actors, right?
They did.
But there were sections of the show. So for me, the highlights were always Andy and Coram together, or Andy or Coram working on their particular strengths.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The improv professionals were somewhat used in a filler sense.
Yes.
And they were definitely amazing.
Oh, yeah, no.
But
lived up to the billing.
That's more of a just straight improv show, whereas
yes,
I think what Andy and Coram are offering is a little more unique than that.
Yes. Their particular brand of entertainment, and they I would behoove Andy and Coram to expand on it, is the storytelling aspect.
Yep.
I think if they blend improv with storytelling, like they have a central finite story. I think like if they have like a beginning, middle, and an end, and they kind of like sprinkle improv through the middle of it, like how we get there, it's kind of a choose your own adventure type of thing. I think if they kind of do that, they being Andy and Coram, that would best suit them. I think going forward, if they kind of did like almost a choose your own adventure with a lot of audience participation, kind of one big Dungeons and Dragons session with improv and a lot of audience participation, almost like a Gallagher kind of thing. You know, like we're gonna hit these watermelons, but you're gonna press the button. Like
and there were definitely highlights like that.
Yes,
Andy's section with the woods and the whole audience participation thing, that was a bunch like that.
Yes,
their banter at the start of the show, you know, the two buddies telling stories back and forth.
Yes.
Plus, it's Midwest entertainment. Like, this type of storytelling is quintessential Midwest entertainment.
100%. If you are seen this channel for any length of time or any of our videos, I always make the joke, somewhere in coming to you live from the 51st state of your mind, from somewhere in southeastern Wisconsin. I'm sure with enough context clues, if you've seen any number of videos, you can kind of figure out where we're at. I don't like to say it out loud, and it's kind of a gag. They even played on like tropes in the thing about like running jokes was like a negative thing. So the improv professionals did that. They did the improv professionals did damn near a whole section of an episode of Big Bang Theory, basically like a sitcom thing. And one of Coram's strengths was he was kind of, like I said, the director, the Drew Carey, if you will. and that worked very well. I think in future shows they're going to have less of those improv professionals. I think a lot of those individuals agreed to do this show with them because of it's their first show, and because Andy and Corum have been taking improv classes at this place, Comdey Sportz, like we said, for a number of years. I think some of these individuals were their teachers.
Yeah. And also their friends.
Yes.
But, like, you only trade on a friend, so often.
Yeah. Oh, but so many times, right? Oh, but so many times.
They probably will always have some additional actors in with them. I think using it to bulk it up is kind of a good use of it.
It is.
And the scene at the end was actually particularly good. So they ran through what was essentially a riff off of some of the stuff we've done around the gaming table.
Yes.
Which is also partly inspired by certain cartoons. So, but they managed to kind of introduce the concept of what they were doing, and
they be Andy and Corum again.
Yes, Andy and Corum. And they then had the improv actors trying to riff on the scenario they've set up.
Mm-hmm.
But what really kind of pushed this past just being like fillers like some of the earlier stuff.
Yes.
Is that Andy and Corum playing the characters they had set up.
Yes.
Got into the scenes and caused chaos.
Yes. So as the and the characters that they pulled from that they were doing, we being like maybe 3 to 4 people in the audience recognized those characters from our old gaming sessions. Gourmande here even was like, "Oh, that's what was the name of it? You said
Murder Mask.
Murder Mask and Axel, right? You said it was,
yeah.
And like
or
Alex or Axel, something. Yeah. Which one?
No, I think it was
Is it?
I don't remember now.
Yeah, same. Because we're just coming back from it, but Gourmande here instantly recognized. Oh, that's that is those 2 characters, and instantly flashback, I would believe, to the time when Gourmande interacted with those characters at the gaming table in those in those intimate moments. So again, that's why we felt that we, being myself and Gourmande, have had to go. We had to support. I personally told Corum that I'm gonna move heaven and earth to be there. I took a day off of work, like I RTO'd, shifted my schedule around. Gourmande made some moves at the last moments, otherwise than they would have. But we made this work, and we did it out of just pure love, because those, there's an old saying that if on your left hand, if you can count 5 people on your, in your later years that you could call at 2 a.m. in an emergency, you've done something right in your time on this, planet. And for us, those are some of those people. Though they being Andy and Corum, those are some of those people. We would move heaven and earth for those guys.
Yep.
So,
I think if they're gonna use some of those characters again in the future.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of my favorites are the world's best surgeon and the world's worst surgeon.
That could be a bit, man.
Because the world's worst surgeon is the world's best gemologist.
Uh-huh. See, and all of those things are various skills you obtain in D&D as you build your character. And what they're really doing is, and I told Andy this when I got a few words with Andy as I saw him after the show, this is all I've ever wanted for you. And Andy looked at me and he didn't get it. Me and Andy, I think we're friends, but we're probably closer to acquaintances. Not on a like, we're just two ships passing in the night. I told him, I said, him being Andy, I said, this is all I've ever wanted for you for a lot of people to see this. And he kind of was like, I think that's a nice thing to say. I mean, if you get it, I mean, because it's like, and I also said, it's like the Harlem Renaissance. If they in that time in Harlem back in the day didn't make a gallery for all those people to see the talent that was there in a place where you wouldn't expect it, nobody would. It would all be for naught. So I'm very proud of those guys, Andy and Corn, for taking their show on the road. That meant a lot to me. So I don't. Do you have any feelings similar, mutual?
Yeah, no. What they did there was amazing, and I know Corum wants to do more shows, so
yeah,
look out for those if you're in the area. Maybe it'll blow super up, and they'll be world famous.
Right, and they'll be world famous, and be like, I know that guy. He better give me something.
And then this video will get 500 views.
Yeah, we'll get the whole 100 views with our 20 subscribers. Please like, share, and subscribe. We promise we'll make videos once a year. I swear we're going to do it.
Oh, yeah, and for people with hype, you just swipe on the mobile and you hype it.
Oh, yeah, totally. Light us up, man. But no, this was at a place called Comdey Sportz in the south side of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's a well-known place. If you go on their website, just type in Comdey Sportz in Google with a Z. It's at the Z at the end of sports.
Yeah.
You just look for events and you look for the Hackmasters. It's a big green sign with the word Hackmasters on it.
Yep. And they do have other locations. This is specifically the Milwaukee one.
Yes, this is specifically the south side of Milwaukee one. I think it's just off of First and National, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one over there. By the Euro Palace, yeah.
Yep.
That's a spot I like, but because they're open really late. But to wrap this thing up, like we said,
I hear they have good burgers.
They do. It's a greasy spoon Greek place, Euro Palace. We're burying the lead here.
Yeah.
This video's already we're yapping, as the kids say. So no, to give this thing out of 5 though, I would give it a 4. Like I would. I think I'm kind of a Hank Hill. 5 should be rare, but no, it didn't change my life, but I had a good time nonetheless. I gave it a 4 out of 5. They should totally do this again. They have a lot. Corum and Andy have a lot of material they could use if they're pulling from their old D&D characters. And my biggest thing to them is follow your muse, Andy and Corum. Follow your muse. That passion needs to fuel that practice, which is going to lead to that perfection. They got it, man. They just have to refine it and get just up and up and up. The 10,000 hours thing.
Yeah.
As they say.
And it's not even just D&D. Like, I know Corum writes stories, right?
Yes.
And his characters in his stories. So, Corum stuff is always really character-driven. And it's his strength as a writer is character-driven.
Yes. You were going to say.
So, like, I can see them using that in the future, right?
Oh, yeah.
If I'm putting a numeric score on this, right, I think the energy of the show, the talent brought in, that's definitely a 4.
Yeah.
I have an idea of the breadth of material they can pull from.
Yes.
And they could really expand this.
Yes.
Or they could do... It could just be its own unique thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
The improv games were nice filler. I know that they were using them to go through some of the changes and discussions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But they could reduce that or maybe change it so that's more meshed in with the show.
Yeah. The professionals, the professional improv players, for me, they're what kept it not being a 5 out of 5 because they weren't bland, but at the same time it was kind of what you expected out of those guys, which made it a teens less unique.
Yeah. But on the other hand, it's really good.
No, it was
improv.
good. It was good improv. It was just exactly what you expected.
Yeah.
And if it was, and what would have bumped it up to a 5 for me, if it was more unique. Like, that's what gave it the 4.
Yeah.
Like Gourmande said, the improv people were so good, and the spice that Corum and Andy drizzled on top of that improv was 4 out of 5, because they're very creative.
Yep.
I think what we would have liked to have seen was a little more of a unique experience, a little more akin to storytelling.
Yeah. Which I might not have even said that, but like they gave us the hints of it, right?
Yes.
We can see it. Like we can see what the show could be in the future.
Like to quote the kids, man, we can see the vision. Like imagine, right? We see you, boss. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. Like,
yeah.
And that, I think that has us most excited.
Yep.
Also, will recommend, would do again.
Yeah.
Like if they do more, if Andy and Corum do more shows, I would try to go. Schedule permitting. I work weekends.
Yeah.
And Gourmande here sometimes on call for their job. Plus, we still do D&D things, and they usually play on Saturdays.
Oh yeah, I'm technically on call.
Yeah, see, like at any moment we could get the alarm, and the Gourmande.
I forgot because of just random scheduling stuff. I ended up with a bunch of on-call weekends in December that I wouldn't have normally had.
Right. Yeah, that's the way it is, folks. So we have busy schedules in terms of just like the times might not mesh, but if we get the free time, or enough. Should I say if we know well enough ahead of time, I think myself and Gourmande would go again.
Yeah.
I almost dang near think if Gourmande can we can handle it, we can like make it a regular. We would be regulars. I think I would. I would watch all their shows and sit in the corner and just kind of have fun with it, just to see those guys.
Yeah.
All right, that's the cue. It's late. No, it's late. Their show started at 8 p.m. I don't know if that's always going to be a good thing.
Probably like normal Comdey Sportz is 7:30. And it seems like the side shows are always like at 8.
Yeah. No, but I'm just thinking, like, does that work for me? I mean, I'm a night owl. I work third shift, so that works for me. I don't know if that works for everybody. But like Gourmande said, that's par for the course for that sort of entertainment. So as a live show, like we said, 4 out of 5. I think that's our verdict. 4 out of 5. What do we call it? 4 out of 5 what's?
Squeaky hammers.
4 out of 5 squeaky hammers. Yeah, no, and that's our review. Yeah, I saw to quote someone else, a solid 4. If you know, you know. Yeah. So that was us giving our unbiased review of 2 of our very dearest friends, Corum and Andy, doing their live improv show. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you see this video and somehow Corum and Andy see this video, you got our creative juices flowing, and we had to do it. So blame yourselves. And your faith in your friends is your own. You guys have a good night.